Welcome to another episode of the Punk Rock NFL Draft. My name is Dirty D from Dirty T, and today we're talking cornerbacks. The cornerback class initially, to me, and I've heard this, is the weakest defensive position group of the class. And that's what I thought as well. Is it true, though? Is that a true fact? Is that a true statement? And for me, after watching this class, it's not great. But it's better than I think anyone's giving it credit for. Although it's weird. Just like this whole class is weird, it's weird. Every, prospect that I'm like, ooh, I love this player, or ooh, this looks like a blue chip player, there's an asterisk next to. And then the guys that, check all of the physical and bill of health boxes, the tape isn't as good. So, weird class. I'm going to go through my top 10. I've got Brandon Cisse from South Carolina coming in at 10. Devon Marshall from NC State coming in at number 9. You know, we're going to talk about it. Davison Igbinosun at 8. He was almost 7 for me, where I have Avion Terrell. Igbinosun to me, honestly, I'm really close to just switching him to 7. But I really like how good he is in man coverage. I think I don't think he's bad in zone. I think he can get better there, but he's really good in man. He's got the size you want, the athleticism you want. He checks all the boxes of a starting NFL corner, and even like a good one. His concern that everyone brings up and calls him, someone that's not going to work in the NFL is how physical he is, how grabby he is. He cut down his penalties this year by a lot, which is great. Still someone that could have been called, sure. But I've seen that get fixed in the NFL. Like, Noah Williams last year, we talked a lot about that. He didn't have that problem year one in the NFL, and he was pretty damn good as a rookie. I loved Noah Williams. I think that Surtain is the same way. He was like that a lot too. That can be fixed. And if that's the only thing that is holding you back so far in a player, I don't think it should. And I would rather a guy have that dog and have that physicality in him than not at all. I want physical football players. I want guys that want to be physical and want to bully you. We can fix the rest. We can fix you're being too physical. I'd rather have to reel you in than try to teach you how to go. I don't know that you can teach someone how to go, or you rarely can. It's harder to unlock that physical pissed off dog in somebody. But if you already have it, you can reel it back easier than you can put it in someone. And then Terrell, I love the dog in him, absolutely. I think the tape, it was better the year before. It's still good. But he not only is he small, he ran like a 4.62 or a 4.64 or something. I think it was 4.64 at his pro day. That's concerning level athleticism of speed for a cornerback. You want corners to be fast. Like, can you even move him to safety? But he's probably a slot only guy. He's definitely a slot only guy in the NFL. You can't put that at 5'10", I think a hair under 5'10", but like around 5'10", 180 pounds, running a 4.64. You can't put that on the outside. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So that's why I have him solo. Colton Hood is my number 6 guy. Colton Hood, I think, is just like a really good man corner. He can play some zone too. He wasn't as athletic as I wanted him to be testing-wise. I thought he would be more athletic. He wasn't super big. And I didn't really like his run defense. I think he's an outside corner only, but I don't know that he has true outside corner size. So I'm a little lower on him as well. But the man stuff is pretty damn good, and he makes a lot of plays on the ball that you gotta like. Chris Johnson Jr., San Diego State, as my number 5 corner. I love him as a zone corner. I think he's kind of limited in his role, but he's so good at it. He's got such good athlete at instincts, and then he was a better athlete than anyone thought he would be. Everyone thought he was not going to be a good athlete. He was a good athlete. He's got the requisite length you want. He's got a lot of the boxes checked. I really like Chris Johnson Jr. And then I love Keith Abney Jr. out of Arizona State. D'Angelo Pons is my number 3 guy. Dog. And then Mansour Delane out of LSU as my number 2 guy. He was good this year. I think he checks a lot of boxes. He's a first-round player to me, not by like a lot. I think in an ideal class, he would be the 27, 26 ranked player. In this one, I think he's closer, like he's around 15 or 16 for me. And that is like, I think he's 15. In this class, that's just speaking to, it's not a good one. It's not a strong class, but he's a good football player. He's got kind of everything you want. Lost some reps to Casey Concepcion, but everyone does. But he's not nearly as good as Jermod McCoy, who, if Jermod McCoy didn't have injury issues, he might be in this class especially. He might be my 3rd ranked player in the class if he didn't have the injury issues, because his 2024 tape was so unbelievably special. It was so good, and he has everything you want. And then he checked the box at his pro day with his 4.37 40-yard dash. He's got the athleticism, the size. His grades elite in zone. Plays man really well. Makes excellent ball skills. The way he shut down Ryan Williams in 2024 was just, it's a masterclass. So he's a cornerback 1 for me. He also is physical against the run. I love Jermod McCoy. But he had the injury. Again, there's an asterisk next to every good player in this class. I still would take him top 10. He should be the first corner off the board. No question about it. To me, in my mind, I would take him over Mansour Delane in a heartbeat. I'm talking about how the players you love in this class have asterisks, and yeah, I got D'Angelo Pons at number 3. I don't give a fuck about the size, but if he was 5'11", 190, 5'10 and a half, 190, I think we're talking cornerback 1. I think we're firmly talking fringe top 10 pick because of how good the tape is. He is so good. He just locks people down. He has that absolute dog in him. He doesn't miss tackles. He's great against the run. He's physical. And man, can he move. He's a special mover. He's so explosive. That 43.5-inch vertical, he is going to go up there. He is going to compete. He's going to compete. He's going to compete. I don't give a fuck that he's 5'9", 182. He's going to compete. I'm sure he'll lose some reps, but all corners are going to lose some reps. You need a guy that's going to lose a rep, and it's not going to get in his head. It's not going to snowball. I don't think you're going to worry about that with him. He's going to go, he could lose 4 in a row, and that 5th rep, he's going to be just as confident that he's going to win it. So I have him as, I think, my 29th ranked player in the class. I absolutely would take him in the first round, the back end of the first round. If I need a corner, I look at teams like, feels like he'd be great in San Francisco. Feels like he'd be great in Tennessee. Even though that's not the first round anymore. Not Tennessee at 4, but Tennessee in the second round. Those are really good fits for me, for D'Angelo Pons. Hopefully not the Chiefs. That would break my heart being a Raiders fan, but probably would be a good fit there. Although they usually like more length in their corner room than he offers. But he's just such a special, like the tape is so good that I don't care. I believe this is the historical outlier. a historical outlier I'm going to believe in. Another guy I believe in more than consensus by a lot, which I have a few of those. And here's the thing about that. People will like lambast quote unquote hot takes. And they're yeah, sure. They're against consensus. But NFL teams are gonna have those too. NFL teams are gonna have different takes than the media does based off of watching the film, based off of what fits their system, based off of if they have certain and this does kind of speak, as a question mark to how where pawns will go, like thresholds for size, weight, arm length, and how willing are they to move past thresholds. The NFL teams are going to have boards different than what the media's boards are. So you're going to see this happen. And for me, the guy is Devon Marshall at NC State, who most people, if you're lucky, they have him somewhere like in the overall player rankings close to like 185, 180, maybe 190. I have him as my ninth corner in the whole class. I've got a third round grade on him. I just think that he's so good in zone coverage. I think he has the required athleticism. There's times where he like has to use makeup speed, but I like his hustle. I like the dog in him. I like how good he is and physical he is against the run. 5'11", 200 pounds. I think he can play inside, outside. He gives you a lot of versatility. I love versatility in my players in general. I like guys, again, that like make plays on the ball. 16 passes defended is tied for second in the entire class. He competes for the ball. 2 interceptions as well. Again, the 4.45 is good enough speed. That's not slow. People act like that's a bad time sometimes, and I'm like, dude, that's a 4.45. That's good speed. That's enough speed. Again, there's some things to clean up in his game, but like how good he is in zone coverage. If you're a zone heavy team, the league has gone very zone heavy. Guys that 16 passes defended, that's a guy that sees and plays the ball and has instincts on playing the ball. And again, you love guys that compete. You love guys that make plays on the ball. You love guys that are physical, how he plays the run. That's a third round player to me. He has the required athleticism. He has good enough size. I think it's maybe a little below average in the height, especially, but he's not this super thin corner you got to worry about, getting washed out of the play or just not being big enough to take guys down. I think he should be a lot higher on people's boards. I pound the table for him. He's one of my pound the table guys. I took him in. I did 2 like off-season sims and 2 live mocks this year. In one of them, I represented the Falcons. I took him for the Falcons. One of them, I represented the Raiders. I took him for the Raiders. He is, especially you get into day 3, and he's there. He's probably going to be one of the higher people on my board because I just think he's better than he's getting credit for. I have a few of those guys, but I think he's better than he gets any credit for. He's a really good player. And that's why I have him above Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina, who okay, some of his testing numbers were great. And that's the whole thing about Cisse. Oh, dude, the size and the athleticism and the speed and this and that and this and that and this and that. Like a 4.4 is good. It's not special. And to me, the gaps in the tape versus like the athleticism isn't good enough for me to ignore the tape. And he graded out fine. I think there was some really the Casey Concepcion game was really concerning, but he just good against the run. You like that. He just doesn't he doesn't see it or have a feel for it yet. And I also think he's a little tight-hipped in some of his movements. But beyond that, so even then I have questions on the athleticism. Does not make a lot of plays on the ball. Only 8 passes defended. That was some of the lower in the class. 1 interception. He just doesn't really. He's a play the guy cover corner, not a play the ball cover corner, and he just doesn't have great instincts in zone. He doesn't really have very good technique. Like, he's just not a good player yet. He doesn't know. He's not good at the football side of it. So you go, well, we can teach him, sure, but I don't want to bet on it. And I'd rather, if I'm teaching people how to play like football, either you have to be a special athlete for me to have you ranked as highly as people have them ranked, or you need to show me, like, you need to show me more true instincts and playmaking ability, like his teammate, Jalen Kilgore, for example. I think I have ranked in a similar area, but Kilgore has some natural instincts and ball, like, playmaking ability, and plays the ball. I don't see that in Cisse. I don't see a second round corner. I definitely don't see it at the end of the first corner. I just don't see it. I'm curious to see what the league's going to actually think of him. But you like, again, you like the broad jump he did. That's pretty good. But, like, he's a good athlete. He's not a special athlete, and he still doesn't know what he's doing. So I have him in kind of that, like, late third round range. I think he can be a decent. I think he can develop into a starting corner, but he is not going to be ready to see the field year one. I don't think he's anywhere close to being ready to put on, maybe on rundowns, sure. But I'm curious how that 189 holds up in the NFL. But he is physical, and I do like physicality. I did say that earlier. That's why I liked Davis and Igbinosun, but Igbinosun is a better cover corner right now. Igbinosun is better at covering. He's better at doing the football stuff. Sure, you want to lose some of the grabbiness, but he knows how to play the position. Brandon Cisse still doesn't know how to do that. And Igbinosun also was a little more, like, better at playing the ball too. So I don't see it where people have Cisse. Doesn't mean he can't develop. I just don't think he's there yet. I wouldn't spend the capital people are talking to spending on him. So Cisse is, like, to me, he's a guy you have to develop, and you hope he can become what everyone thinks he can become, but you don't know. The guy that, to me, though, is like an X factor, kind of like, I don't want to say boom or bust. It's just there's like a big question that has to be answered, or just because that's not even the way I want to phrase it. Like, Keith Abney Jr. is one of the more interesting players in the class because the movement is, like, he is so fluid. He moves so well. He has such good hips. He has such good change of direction. He was like, on track to be almost like an Olympic level skater, and you see that in the way he moves and glides in the field. Uh, excellent, excellent cover corner, especially in zone. Plays really well in man as well. Graded, like, his man grade is really high in the percentile of other guys. Just tough as hell against the run too. Plays the run well as well. Like, you don't have any concerns about the tape. 44.4% completion percentage allowed against him. That's really good. Only 46.1 passer rating. That's really good. 10 passes defended, 2 interceptions. There's, like, you'd like to see more ball skills, but he's still kind of learning. But, like, his ability to match is really good. But holy shit, he is small. He is a hair under 5'8", 187 pounds, or sorry, 5'10", hair under 5'10", sorry. 187 pounds. That's nickel corner size. And then the 4.45 40-yard dash at his pro day, that's nickel. That's maybe not necessarily nickel only speed, but it's not like elite speed, especially with his size. So you're like, is he the type of athlete because of his size where he should just play the nickel, or can he play outside? That's the big question about Abney, and I think that's going to affect where you might have him ranked. If you're like he's a nickel only player, he might be a little lower for you. Um, I still think he can play outside. I try him outside. Obviously, I don't want him playing against X receivers, but I think he can give you some inside out versatility. And again, big fan of versatility. That's why I have him fifth. But that's a big question that teams are going to be asking themselves. Do we think he can play outside? And if they don't, that's where you might see Abney slip more into that third round range as opposed to I have him with the second round grade. But it's really going to come down to, do I think he can play on the outside? Is he nickel only? How concerned am I about the size? But like the tape, the demeanor, the way he plays, the movement skills, this is a good NFL player. It's way better than I see people have him like 10th in their corner list. This is why I have him above Chris Johnson, especially the man zone versatility. But if you think he's nickel only, I probably put him more in the Avion Terrell Colton. I like him more than Colton Hood, so probably right around where I have Colton Hood. That's going to do it for my video today. Again, you're probably going to get a few of these today. Next group we're going to talk about the interior offensive line. We're going to group together the centers and the guards just to make it easier, and also because they need that for it to be a group worth talking extensively about. No more spoilers. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. My name is Dirty D from Dirty T. Have a great rest of your day.